Okay, welcome back to another session. And in this session, we will discuss about textbook of social science for grade 7 and bridge program for grade 8. So in this session, the resource person is Professor Sima Shukla Ojha, is the professor of history. He is having the interest areas in ancient Indian history and archaeology, heritage studies, and history of education, social science education. Professor Ojha has a vast experience in NCERT. Her major contribution includes development of textbooks, supplementary materials, audio video programs, and research projects. He has conducted many research projects, and publications includes mostly books chapters, and research papers. She has published journals in national and international journals of repute, many articles, research papers, and presented many papers in seminars. And the CV is a big CV, but only thing, she has vast experience in NCERT. Welcome you, madam. Now, Professor Ojha will talk about social science textbook for grade 7 and bridge program for grade 8. Professor Ojha.
Thank you, Professor Mohanty. So, as you know that today we are going to discuss about grade 7 social science textbook, Exploring Society, India and Beyond. So, we can have our presentation on the screen. Yeah. Can we have our presentation? Yeah. So, as you can see that the title of the textbook is Exploring Society, India and Beyond. And on your screen before you is the front and back cover page of our textbook, Exploring Society, India and Beyond. This is going to be part 1. We'll have another part 2 of this textbook. So as you know that in social sciences, we study society, and we study we are not only going to study Indian society, but we are also going to have glimpses of our interaction with the outside world in the past as well as the present. So, all these things will make it very clear why we have titled our book like this, Exploring Society, India and Beyond. That means we'll be moving, within India, we'll be going outside also. And as you know that social science is a discipline which has many, aspects to it. Like, if we go to the representation of visuals on the cover page, you will see that on top of the front cover, you will see that there are geographical features shown there. There are mountains, and then there is a little stream coming out there. And then on the left side, there is a king, and probably there is an elephant. So maybe that elephant is part of any ruler's, procession. So like that, and then below that you will see that an ancient scholar is there who is doing something with a manuscript. So in a way you can see that it represents the society in the past and also in the present, because there is a woman who is doing some experiment. Maybe she is measuring the weather, and there is also, in the lower part of the cover, front cover, you can see that there is a woman who is selling something, and a person is buying something, ready to make a payment through digital mode. And then there is another woman who is casting her vote, and there is there are 3 more women who are in the queue. So maybe they are waiting for their turn. So, all these things will give you an idea that what we are going to explore further in the subsequent pages of the textbook. And as you know that these textbooks are being developed keeping into consideration the concerns of National Education Policy 2020 and also National Curriculum Framework for School Education 2023. So national education policy puts a lot of emphasis on integration of art, sports and other such concerns. So, I mean, you can see that these cover pages, they very well illustrate this integration, because on the front cover you can see that there is a pattern of Katha stitch, and there on the back cover you see the Gond painting. So in a way, this cover page gives you an idea what you are going to explore. And yeah, let us not forget that there is our national emblem at the top of the, cover. So let's move to the next slide. Yeah. So in this particular textbook, we are going to focus on 5 themes. And let me remind you that this class 7 textbook is in continuation to our earlier grade 6 textbook. There also we focused on 5 themes, and together these 5 themes constitute our discipline social science. Yeah, in grade 6 also, and also in grade 7 we have this visual where people are trying to hold this, earth, and there one phrase is written, Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. So through this we are trying to show that we might be living in different parts of the world, but ultimately we are part of one family, we are part of one world, and that's why this phrase is there, Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. That means the whole world is one family. So this is also an indicator what kind of material we are going to explore in the coming pages. When we talk about the aims of social science education, we know that it tries that learners are able to understand how society functions, because in social sciences, it's basically social sciences tells us about the human interaction with social and natural environment across time, space and institutions. It also develops various capacities for inquiry in social sciences, so that ultimately a learner or child becomes a responsible human being and contributes meaningfully as a citizen. Now coming to the contents of the grade 7 textbook, you can see that the textbook is divided into 5 major themes. First is India and the world, second is tapestry of the past, third is related to cultural heritage and traditions, fourth is on governance, and fifth is related to economic life around us. I won't go into the detail of each chapter, but in brief you can see that the first theme is basically talking about the key geographical features of India. It is talking about Himalayas, how it was formed, and it is talking about desert, then coastlines, northeast, and plateau area. So lot of geographical features are discussed in this chapter, and also its impact on human life. Then second chapter we are talking about the weather, how weather is measured, what is its role in our life, and suppose if somebody has an understanding of weather, how it will help them to be better prepared for events like flooding or you can say rains, heavy rains. So like these things are discussed there. Then third chapter is about climate. So climate, there we are discussing about why in India we have such diverse climate and how it affects the life, the culture, the economy of our country, and how its knowledge can help us in better preparing ourselves to address or to mitigate natural disasters. Then in the second theme, we have chapters like New Beginnings, where we are discussing second urbanization. Let me just remind you that in the grade 6 textbook, we have talked about first urbanization. And in here, we are discussing second urbanization. We are discussing about Janapadas and Mahajanpadas, how they formed an important development in the overall development of history. And then we are discussing about rise of empires. We are discussing what is an empire, how kingdoms transform into empires, and what was the things happening in these kingdoms and empires, whether some, foreigners were also coming at that time or not. And then in the next chapter, we are talking about the age of reorganization. Basically, we are discussing here about post-Maurya period. So a lot of activities were going on in that, during that time. So along with the first empires like Magadha Empire, Mauryan Empire, we are also discussing the coming of Indo-Greeks and how they assimilated into Indian society. Then we are discussing about Gupta Empire in the next chapter. And we are discussing about the important rulers, their achievements and other such things. We are, dealing in detail about Gupta period. Then in the next theme, we are discussing about the sacred geography, how the land becomes sacred. It's a very, novel theme that is given in the present textbook. Because under this theme, we are discussing what is sacredness, how the land becomes sacred, and how these sacred sites, they form or contribute to the unity, cultural unity of our country. Then in the next theme, we are discussing about different types of government, how governments play an important role in the lives of people. And in the next chapter, we are discussing about constitution, how constitution came into, being, and why there is a need to have constitution. So, and we are also discussing about the key features of Indian constitution. Then in the theme, economic life around us, we are talking about from barter to money. So what was the system? What was the method of transaction before money? And how money transformed this transaction process, and what are the different forms of money. Then in the next chapter related to markets, we are trying to understand market, how an important role it plays in the lives of people, what are different kinds of markets, and how people assess the quality of different products. So this is in brief about the contents, and as you can see that there is a mention of glossary also. So coming to the next, these two maps are given at the end of the textbook, and in all the chapters, wherever required, we are continuously referring to this physical and the political map. There are a lot of activities related to these maps. Yeah, in the initial pages only, there is a letter to the student where, the textbook in a way is having a dialogue with the student. It tries to, tell them what all they are going to explore in the textbook and how important things are placed in there, what efforts went on in preparing this textbook. And then the next section is your journey through this book. Basically, this will quickly give a tour of the textbook, how different chapters have been organized, what are different important sections given in the book. And the most important thing is that here, along with sections, it has been made very clear what is the purpose behind giving each section, as you can easily go through. So I'll request all the teachers, whenever you have this book before you, please go through these initial pages carefully, because this will give you an idea how to make use of this textbook in a meaningful way. So coming to the next slide. Yeah. This is also an important feature that you must have also, come across in grade 6 textbook also, because in these textbooks we are coming across many Sanskrit words and also some Indian language words. So it was thought that we need to provide diacritical marks so that children are able to pronounce these Sanskrit words correctly. This is not for evaluation though, but this will definitely help you in pronunciation. Yeah. Now coming to the structure of the chapter, as you have seen in the journey through the book, this is the start of the chapter. In every chapter, the first thing that you will notice is the title and followed by a quotation. These inspiring quotations are from our ancient scriptures. They are from different, renowned scholars, some from India, some from outside. And The important thing about these quotations are that these quotations are actually, very much related to the content that we are discussing in the chapter. The quotation is followed by a picture related to the theme, and then we have big questions. There are 2-3 big questions. These big questions are basically broad ideas around which the whole chapter has been interwoven. Like in understanding market, as you can see on the screen, some big questions are: what is meant by a market? How markets play an important role in the lives of lives of the people? Likewise, questions are there. Yeah, we also have technical words in the margin of the chapter. There are a few words mentioned in the chapter. Along with this, we have a detailed glossary running into almost 8 pages at the end of the textbook that will definitely help children to understand different terms and terminologies coming into different chapters. Yeah, this is, you can see the glossary on your screen. Yeah, now coming to the different sections within the chapter. In the chapter, we can see that there are many, sections titled as Let's Explore, Let's Find Out, Think About It, or Let's Remember. So one by one we can go there. Let's Explore activities are actually meant to explore further. There are some things discussed here, but then they are, given a hint so that they can go and explore other things. Yeah, let's remember. In class 6, we didn't have this section, let's remember. This is an addition in grade 7 textbook. And here basically we are focusing on certain facts which have already been learned by students. And we are also giving hints to other, chapters, sometimes social science textbook and sometimes science textbook. Like in the second Let's Remember, you can see that we are referring to the science book Curiosity. And there we are discussing that in grade 6 you have learned about thermometers. So we are continuously referring to other textbooks also. Maybe science, maybe different chapters of social science also. So now coming to the next, Think About It. Basically, Think About It section is for students to explore. There are some activities to do, some in-text questions are there, and sometimes they are motivating students to explore further. Don't Miss Out is an important section in our grade 7 textbook. Basically, in Don't Miss Out sections, we are discussing some interesting or intriguing facts which children might find interesting. Like in the first Don't Miss Out, you can see that we are talking about a Mela, which is happening somewhere in Assam. And there, since 15th century, they are having an exchange of goods. So even after coming of money, they are having this mode of exchange there. So this gives you an interesting idea about the mode of exchange practiced right now. And then in the next Don't Miss Out, you can see that we are talking about Roma, people. Based on their culture, their, society, scholars are of the view that they have some connection with India. So these are very important features of the chapters that we have. Before we move on is the last section that we have in our chapter. And this basically sums up the whole chapter. And this actually recapitulates the important ideas already narrated in the textbook. Before we move on is followed by questions and activities. There are a lot of activities and questions. We'll come to this later. Now coming to the salient features of the textbook. These are some of the salient features of the textbook that our textbooks are textbook is culturally rooted. It has values embedded to it, and it has integration of Indian knowledge system. It is interdisciplinary approach, and it has connections within and outside social science. It has activities which are focusing on experiential learning, and then it has connection with students' life outside the classroom. And the assessment that we have in our textbook are competency-based assessment. We'll come to this, through examples we'll be able to, show you about cultural rootedness, that cultural rootedness is not limited to the chapter which is on heritage. That is an important theme of our textbook, but this is, continuing in all themes. Like in a chapter on history, we are talking about Aryabhatta and Varahmir. We are talking about their scientific achievements, and in that chapter only we are talking about Kalidas, about his Meghdut, how it gives us an idea about weather and other such things. And then we are also having a section on Indian Constitution, and we are telling students that how a calligrapher, Prem Bihari Narayan Raizada, who wrote the text by hand, and how Nandalal Bose and his team, they illustrated its pages. And you can see on the screen that it has been done very, it is richly illustrated. And there are, drawings from our ancient scriptures like Ramayana, Mahabharata. Then there are, some from Gurukul, showing Gurukul also. So a lot of drawing has been used in our chapters. Then our textbooks also had many values embedded to it. You can see this embedding of values across chapters. Like in our geography chapter, we are talking about Rajasthan, where women are going a long way to fetch water. So here we are trying to tell students that we need to save water. So in a way we are trying to tell them about the conservation of water, so that water is not wasted. And then in another excerpt, you can see that there is a story from Silappadikaram. And here we are talking about a Kannagi, a lady whose husband was falsely implicated, and he was tried and executed. But somehow she could prove his innocence. But hearing about this, the ruler who prosecuted that, her husband, he was so shocked that he died of that shock. So, through this story, we are trying to present before students how these values of justice or rulers' dharma plays an important role. So these are giving an important idea to students about different kinds of values. Then coming to the next, here also we are talking about restoring and conserving the sacred, because we are discussing in this chapter sacred geography about rivers, and we are also discussing how these rivers are now polluted. Many of these rivers are now polluted. So we are raising a question before students whether they have noticed such rivers in their own area, and what are the efforts being taken up to clean those rivers. Then integrating Indian knowledge. So right from the quotation to the content, the integration of Indian knowledge is very much part of our chapters. On your screen, you can see that there is a house which has been shown. It is from Himachal Pradesh, and it gives an idea how these houses are constructed by using stones and wood, so that they are warm during winter time. And on your right, you can see that there is a bridge which is a living root bridge, and it is in Meghalaya, how people used to weave roots of trees. So it is a knowledge tradition which is continuing to this day. So through this, we are trying to integrate Indian knowledge to the content. Then connecting content to the life of students. In the textbook, we are continuously referring to the lived experiences of students to their life outside the school. Like in the first, excerpt, you can see that food preservation techniques are followed differently in different parts of our country. Because you all must be familiar that in North India, many of us, we try to keep peas, green peas available during winter time for, making some, delicacies during, summer time. So we follow different kinds of strategies. So like this, we are connecting students' life outside the school to the content. And then we are also, in Think About It, you can see that we are talking about society, societal inequalities. And we are raising a question whether students have noticed some inequalities in their neighborhood or in their family, so that they can, understand these things in a better way. Yeah. Yeah, as I said in the, beginning also, that this is an integrated book which has been prepared keeping into consideration the multiple inputs from different disciplines. And this, integration is not only within social sciences, but it is also trying to connect with other natural sciences also. Like in the first visual, you can see that this is from our chapter, Geographical Diversity, where we are talking about Andaman and Nicobar Island. And here we are referring to cellular jail, where our freedom fighters spent, longer duration, long time, and it was very difficult for them to, stay there in that horrible situation. So we are referring to history in a geography chapter. Similarly, in the second, you can see that we are talking about Sohgora inscription. Here in this inscription, we are referring to the storage of grain so that it could be used when there is a crisis, famine or other such crisis. So food security is the thing that is being discussed here. In economics, we all, many times we refer to food security. So in the next, you can see that we are talking about climate and our lives. This is from our geography chapter. We are discussing different kinds of climates and also its effect on the human lives. So in that context, we are referring to different festivals that are being celebrated in our country, which are related to agriculture or different seasons. So through these pictures and narratives, we are connecting geography with culture, with society. Yeah. A peek into history. This particular section is from our political science chapter, where we are referring to different kinds of governments, and there we are discussing about democracy. So in that context, here we are referring to Uttar Merur inscription found from South India, and there we have discussed how village sabhas, they used to function in democratic way, and how election was done, what were the qualifications of people who were selected for these sabhas and other such things. And then in the next, you can see what is a market. So definitely it is, you can easily make out that it is a theme related to economics. Here we are talking about a bazaar in Hampi, that is in Vijayanagar, that used to be an important bazaar in Vijayanagar Empire. So continuous reference to different subject areas within social sciences and outside social sciences. Then we have also tried to connect natural science and social science. In the first, don't miss out, you can see that in our chapter we have talked about iron pillar located in the Qutub complex area, and it's rust free. So the secret of this has been brought out by scientists who have done a lot of study. So what was the reason behind it remaining rust free has been discussed here. So that way we are connecting it to science. Then here there is discussion on helium, because our constitution has been kept in a box which has a helium box. So why helium has been used here? Because it doesn't react to paper. So that way we are connecting social science with natural science also. This I have already discussed, so yeah. Then coming to the assessment, our textbook is competency based and there are a lot of activities and questions given in the textbook, and you can see that not only at the end of the chapter but also in the chapter in text questions are there. There are questions on visuals. As you can see on your screen, there are different visuals on which questions are posed. These are part of the chapters, and at the end also we have some chapters. Then there are project activities where students are advised, they are motivated to, visit nearby museums or nearby farms or other such places and prepare a report. So these kind of activities which motivate students to explore further are given in our chapters. Then there are questions on maps. There are a lot of maps used in our textbook, and in all maps you will see that there are some questions posed on that. So here is an interesting map from our sacred geography chapter. Here the network is shown, and then the students are motivated to trace this map and keep another map of sacred sites on this to get an idea whether these sites were located on the major trade routes or not. So likewise, these kind of activities are given in our textbooks. Then in social sciences, many times we receive many observations from people that there is less representation of a particular region, but I can say that in this particular textbook there is regional representation quite appropriately. As you can see that from South India we have Cholas, Cheras, Pandyas and other such dynasties. Then East we have Chedis and Kamrup. And then in Northeast we are discussing about Junbil Mela that we discussed just now. And then we are discussing about tribal communities from all parts of our country. We are discussing about Living Root Bridge, which is in Meghalaya. So regional representation is illustrated through these examples. Yeah. Visually also you can see the regional representation of Cholas and Pandyas. There is a map. Then there are different communities mentioned there. There is a section on Chedis in East India. Yes. So now coming to the experiential learning, it was mentioned in the key features of the textbook, because in experiential learning many times we give something and then we expect that a student has learned a particular thing and now they are required to use that knowledge or skill to a new situation. So for that there is a preamble of the Indian Constitution given there and followed by an activity so that they can see whether these values or things mentioned in the preamble are actually getting applied in their life outside the classroom or outside the textbook or not. Yeah. Now coming to the inclusion part, our textbook is truly inclusive, not only in terms of gender, but also in terms of language and other things. And in our chapters, we have not only discussed about, royal ladies, but we have also discussed about, common women, like this is a market in Manipur. This is called Ima Cattle Market. This is also known as Mother's Market. So through all these examples, we are trying to prepare our textbook truly gender neutral. And Then we are also taking into consideration the multilingualism part. In Sacred Geography chapter, we are discussing sacred groves. And here is an activity where sacred groves, how they are, named in different languages are given. And then students are motivated to tell how sacred groves are known in their own language. So in a way, we are catering to the need of multilingualism also. As I shared in the beginning, that the book is richly illustrated, not only with different kinds of sculptures, building monuments, but it has lot of maps, infographics are there, some cartoon pieces and caricatures are there. So lot of activities are there. Timelines are there. And timelines are not only part of history chapters, but they are part of other chapters too. So, this way, we are coming to the end of the presentation. In brief, I would like to discuss about the bridge course for grade 8 also. As you know that children who are coming to class 8, they have studied class 6 and 7 books following earlier curriculum. So there can be some gap. So following those gap areas, we have prepared competency-based bridge course where a lot of activities are there. It's a 6-week long duration bridge course program, which will give you an idea about the kind of activities which will prepare students for a smooth transitioning from earlier curriculum to the new curriculum. So likewise, different activities are there. And we have already uploaded this bridge program on our website. So I request you to go through that bridge program, and I look forward to your suggestions and comments on grade 7 textbook and also on bridge program. So happy reading. Yeah, thank you.